Good afternoon. I think we're getting ready to start here. It's about 2:30. And my name is Jennifer Quapis. I'm with Snowflake, part of our team here. I want to introduce John Truskowski, who's there. And Todd Simpson is also part of the Snowflake team supporting Michigan. This session, we're delighted to have Saima Sattar, who's with American Axle and Manufacturing. She's going to speak. And then we have a special additional guest, Monica Kudzierski. I knew I was going to do that, from Harman, who is going to be joining for some Q&A and some additional perspectives, as she's also, and Harman is a Snowflake customer too. So introducing Saima. Saima is the Director of Digital Data and Analytics at American Axle and Manufacturing. She's an experienced leader. She's been part of the American Axle team for a while and has been promoted recently to be a director with their executive IT team. She's a very experienced leader across applications and BI and data, and she's leading their transformation from a digital data and analytics standpoint and manages all those platforms for American Axle. She is ready to speak, so I'm going to turn it over to her now. Saima.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thanks for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm Saima Sattar, Director of Digital and Analytics from American Axle and Manufacturing. Nice to see you all here. So to begin with, I'll start with introduction about my company, AAM, American Axle. I'm sure many of you, I'm not sure how many people are here from manufacturing. Can you raise your hands? Automotive? Excellent. So American Axle is in Detroit. We are tier 1 automotive suppliers. And just few things about, just the highlights about the company. I have mentioned here our size, 7 billion plus, 20,000+ associates, and we have 80 locations, including manufacturing, business offices, as well as engineering tech centers. And we are almost all over the world, in Europe, Asia, South America, North America, almost in many, many other countries. So this is just like a background of American Axle, how the company was founded and who were the founders behind American Axle. So basically, AAM was part of GM back in 90s. And our founder and first CEO, Dick Dow, he was an executive at GM. So they kind of split the axle and metal forming business back in 1994. And that's how American Axle was founded. And the original plants, they were all in Hamtramck. And it was more North American business at that time. After that, the first and foremost priorities for the company were to set American Axle culture. Obviously, it was extremely GM-oriented, and GM was the biggest customer at that time. So that was the main focus, to set the culture, set up the plants and everything else. But then in 2002, 2003 onward, the company started expanding, limited expansion, mainly in the North American areas, and more focus was toward quality and operational excellence. I joined American Axle as a contractor through EDS. It was, now it's HP, as Oracle programmer back in 2004. So at that time, company was expanding, and then we had that huge dip, if you all guys remember, back in 2008, 2009, the whole automotive was in real bad shape, so there were lots of strikes. That was the time when American Axle started opening up factories in Mexico, in Brazil, Poland, China, and other locations. But then from 2010 onward, there was profit and growth. We were opening lots of new factories all over the world. And then in 2017, we acquired Metaldyne, MPG, as our new business. So it increased overall company's portfolio and powertrain, and further transmissions and other business units were introduced. So since 2017 until now, we've been very busy bringing those plants on board on our ERP systems, on our plant floor systems, and so on. One good thing about American Excel is that our systems are central, so which is a huge plus point, especially for people like me who are in the analytics. It's like music to our ears when you have more central common systems, because it makes things very easy. So now we are still in process of just last few plants that we acquired through Metaldyne, bringing them into our ERP and plant floor systems. I'm mentioning three most important points, which is where the company's main focus is these days. And I'm going to bring you back when I talk about digital and analytics, what we are doing for American Excel to support these goals: quality, operational excellence, and technology leadership. These are two main business units we have: driveline business unit and metal forming. So in driveline, you see all the product lines, the most important product lines from axles, front rear axles, drive shafts, and on the metal forming side, you'll see lots of components. Our metal forming business is also our main supplier to the driveline business. So it's really well integrated. I'll mention one more point before I move to the next slide, that on the driveline side, we have Oracle as our main ERP system. And on the metal forming side is Plex. So, and that's the good thing about American Excel, that we have central databases. So it's like Oracle all across. We have for driveline our own plant floor systems as well. We call them IPF, integrated plant floor, but they're also very central and well connected. So now this slide I'm going to spend some time on. This is the most important slide as far as I can see, and I don't have too many visuals. I want to just talk about it and keep it more interactive. So on this slide, I'm mentioning top 5 goals and what our objectives are as part of the analytics. So a couple of things I'll mention here is the digital and analytics is under our IT department at American Excel. I report to our CIO, Donald Wright. So it's all central. In many companies, they are like more business unit oriented. So in each function, you'll have your own analytics team. But here at American Excel, it's all central. So we work with supply chain, finance, manufacturing, HR, procurement, direct, indirect, and all business functions. So it's a very interesting model, and it gives us a lot of powers. Not only that, but also it allows us to align the underlying systems. So if we are using certain type of technology from one function or from one business unit, we can use it for the others also. So it gives us lots of opportunities to collaborate. So I think to be in this business or in this job, we have to be extremely visionary. It's very critical for us to keep learning about new technologies and see how we're going to get competitive advantage for our company, and how we can take the business to think out of box or think differently or do things differently. Especially in the manufacturing and automotive, this is the biggest challenge, to how to get them out of their routine and their Excel work and their manual processes and help them to automate and digitize things. So it's like a continuous effort and continuous struggle. Speed is also very important, and it's not just from the systems perspective that our systems should be speedy, but also from how quickly we get back to the customer, how we manage our demand, because projects will keep coming, business wants to move on, and we have to be ready to move with the same speed. So we have to have the right foundation, solid foundation that allows us to put things together faster and have that system set, that we don't waste too much time re-establishing our foundation. So in next few slides, I'll be talking about what platform we have from the database side, from our cloud side, from the visualization side. The other most important thing is the alignment, how well we are aligned with our business, because as far as I think, the technology roadmap should be 100% in alignment with the business roadmap. Because being in IT especially, you get really attracted toward new technology. So we can keep buying stuff which has no use for our business, so it will be rather wasting money. So how we fully align with the business and focus on those areas where there is business need. So technology should not be just for the sake of technology, because American Axle is not a software company, it's an Axle manufacturing company. So to keep that goal in mind is very important, because being in IT, I'm sure all of you will have this experience, how many times you receive phone calls from like 500 vendors trying to sell different type of technologies, predictive maintenance models, such and such. So it's very important for us to stay focused on what company wants and where the power is and where we're going to save money for the company, rather than entertaining too many ideas. So, and one more important thing here is to how to operationalize those ideas, because many times we end up doing a lot of POCs, that there's a, hey, let's do this pilot and see if it works out. And then, especially in manufacturing and in automotive, we don't go beyond those POCs. So the most important thing is that once you have a POC, proof of concept, or a pilot, how to actually operationalize it and really make it functional. That's where I think the focus should be. Automation is another important area where we are doing a lot of robotic processing type of projects are starting now. And it's all over. You'll see lots of areas where people love using Excel spreadsheets, because that's quick and that's easy to use. And many times you can blame the user, because sometimes if systems are too rigid, it's really hard to transform into completely automate things. And then sometimes there can be job security problems, because sometimes people think that if this whole process is taken away and some robot is going to take over and their jobs will be eliminated. So it's like a, but the most important thing to remember is that that's not how it is. For one example I'll give you is in our warranty department, we had warranty and claims files coming from all our customers, such as GM, FCA, Chrysler, and many others. And we had like a team of people who will review those warranty verbatims manually in Excel spreadsheets and try to find out which warranty claims belong to American Axle, which one are not. And that was very tedious process. So we implemented the whole big data solution with warranty and claims that completely transformed that area. And before, we were like 3 months in rear reviewing those claims, and we are supposed to get back within 30 days. And that system came it like brought us down to like same day. The claims will come in, and the same day system will churn and process them and provide information to the warranty team. So they started, we didn't lay off anybody, the whole team is still there, but now they are focused on more analytical work. Instead of reading through those files, now the system is already giving them answers, so they are very quickly communicating back with the customer and finding root cause, that why if there are certain claims coming in and the emerging issues are increasing, whether we made a change in the plant, in the quality system, or in our operations, which caused that problem. So very quickly they are getting back to the birth certificate of the part number and finding out the root cause. So it's like huge improvement. It's like has a complete transformation of the process. And the most important thing is the visibility for better decision making. And that's the core for the analytics team. That's the most important part of it. If we don't provide that visibility, there's like enormous amount of data that we are collecting on a daily basis. And for users, there is no way to find any patterns in that data unless we don't provide that visualization tool to them. So I think it's to improve their decision making, providing this visibility is the core for the analytics department. So on this slide, I have mentioned few, like the whole journey of the analytics, how it started at American Axle and where we are today. As I mentioned earlier, I joined American Axle back in 2004, so I was in the Oracle team. I started as a PL SQL developer, and then I became a manager in 2007, and I was responsible for the whole ERP suite at that time. So I had Oracle, PeopleSoft at that time. Now we use Workday, Kronos, and many other applications. But then in 2012, we had a big need. Until then, we were using like more canned reports and very old traditional analytics. If any of you guys have heard about DBI, old Oracle's or database integrator, those type of things. So very, very basic. So in 2012, there was a need, and the senior management started asking about better analytical tools. The most important was for our CEO at that time was in the sales department, where we had sales opportunities coming from all regions. Since then, we had expanded, and our sales offices were almost all over the world. So he was receiving sales opportunities and emerging business information in Excel files through all regions. And by the time he was reviewing that, or our core finance team was reviewing those, the engineers in those regions were already starting to code the business. And then in the end, they found out that, sorry, there is no budget to pursue such and such business because that's not in our portfolio. So it was pretty frustrating and waste of time and money. So there was a huge need to kind of consolidate that whole reporting mechanism, where, which regions are focused on which customers, what type of product lines, whether they are aligned with our manufacturing engineers and product engineers or not, or whether they're just working in silos, whether we have capital budget as approved for such and such initiatives. So we built for the sales department. Those days, CRM systems were coming in. The word CRM was becoming famous. So we didn't want to spend millions in buying any CRM system. So we came up with our own homegrown system. And since we were using Oracle, we purchased Oracle products, OBIE and OBIA. So that kind of organized the whole sales department and its information. It was a huge success, and it kind of introduced the business intelligence concepts to American Excel. Before that, if you say BI, many people won't even know what's BI. So that was number one and very successful project. After that, it gave us a lot of confidence, and we started launching in the procurement, in the finance, and other areas. Then in 2014-16, we started doing work in the capacity planning from customer contractual capacities versus our equipment capabilities and our plants capacities. So that was like a mix of our ERP systems, our plant floor systems, contracts information from our customers, and so on. So again, that was very successful. And then by 2017, we started looking into big data and have more like analytics 3.0, or I should say 2.0/3.0 type of solutions. So we acquired big data discovery along with Hadoop cloud services. And that warranty example that I gave you earlier was part of it. That's when we launched the whole warranty and claims solution. So that was American Excel's very first big data launch, which again had a huge success story. So we were very lucky in whatever we did. We were able to show some success and showcase really nice tools. Then after that, it was like machine learning, artificial intelligence. How do we provide more insight in the plants to reduce scrap, to get down to the root cause analysis, find correlations among multiple characteristics, and give them to produce better Excel in the end. So we tried to use our in-house, in our private cloud data warehouse, as well as Hadoop cloud service, but we were really stuck with that because the computation power wasn't there. Even there was like a huge storage that came with Hadoop, but then when we were trying to process that data, the whole data ingestion, data transformation, data computation, that foundation wasn't strong enough. Because we had in our plant floor system, every day we were trying to pull millions and millions of records with traceability, okay, what components went in this final Excel, and what was my gear set, what was my pinion, what was the each and every characteristic through gauging machines. So how do we find patterns, that what are those best combinations that are making the perfect Excel, and it's going through NVH, noise vibration testing without any problem, versus which type of components are causing me more problems. So at that time, we stepped back and we said, these tools are not going to give us, because we were able to pull data, but we were not able to do any computation or put any statistical algorithms around it. So that's when we started looking around and we found Snowflake. So since last year, we've been using Snowflake as our database, cloud database, and it's working out really great. It gave us all those answers. Along with our visualization tools, so far we're only Oracle OBIE, and that also had its limitations because Oracle OBIE doesn't allow us to implement R and Python libraries unless you go to OAC Cloud. So we went to Microsoft Power BI. So Power BI, and then at that time we did like a huge POC before acquiring Snowflake and Power BI. We did two POCs, one for the platform, for the data ingestion and data processing, and the other one for data visualization. So for the data processing and for the data warehousing, we had Snowflake, Azure from Microsoft Azure, and Redshift from Amazon. So we did that whole POC in parallel, and we had a really nice ranking sheet and requirement that this is a must-have, this is nice to have, that's mandatory requirement. And in the end, we decided to go with Snowflake. Similarly, we had 3-4 tools we picked from one was Power BI, and we were also looking into ClickView and ClickSense, Tableau, and then we ended up with Microsoft Power BI. So now we have that tool set in our toolbox, and it has given us really, really strong foundation. So in 2019, we did huge projects for the operations and manufacturing. That are giving us, now we are seeing those ROIs in the scrap reduction, in the overall improvement in quality. So we are able to find correlations among all the characteristics in each component, ring gear, pinions, and what is the best combination of those components that are the best for the NVH, and also providing information back to engineers who set limits, whether those sometimes limits can be wrong. So even through the gauging machine, a component goes through and it's a pass, it's not rejected, but in the end, it causes problems in the final NVH testing. Then you have to go through the whole tear down process and pull out that component, which is a huge waste of money. So our goal is how to stop those rejects, or how to stop those quality issues beforehand at the component level before it reaches our final assembly. Sorry, I'm not even asking any questions. This diagram is just to give you like outside American Excel, just from the concept's perspective. When we started this whole journey back in 2012 until now, if somebody said, hey, from day one, whilst we were in those DBIs and very old-fashioned CAN reporting, nobody could even imagine doing machine learning or artificial intelligence or doing the multivariate correlations and putting Python algorithms. So it's like a step-by-step approach. You have to get to that maturity level, but it's very hard to completely transform on day one. So the first thing as we did, which you can see here, is like, more from modernization perspective. Don't worry if things are in silos. Just try to technically build the foundation. And if I have a spend cube which is running in the silo, even though I know that if it was integrated with my supply chain data or with my customer data, I could have found more patterns, but that's okay. To begin with, let's try to automate things or look for low-hanging fruits to begin with. Otherwise, the journey becomes so difficult because we can always say, hey, let's step back and look at broader picture, and let's step back, and then in the end, we are trying to boil the ocean, which doesn't happen. So it's very important to take small steps and see where the low-hanging fruits are and try to build that whole story and like a success story. So get more and more credibility to move forward. So as I said, first day, it might be just a technical transformation, technical source consolidation and transformation. Then it becomes more like logical transformation where you say, okay, now I have all these silos. How can I build subject areas which combines such and such, and then in the logical layer, I can find more patterns which are more cross-functional and across various business systems. And then again, it comes to big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all those futuristic things that we have in the pipeline. So this last slide is, I'm just going to emphasize a little bit more on Snowflake and the benefits we got out of Snowflake. So as I mentioned already, the whole roadblock that we had when we started our machine learning projects was in the overall data ingestion, data computation perspective. So with Snowflake's help, along with Microsoft Power BI, we were able to get over those hurdles. So I think it's, as I said in my previous slide, speed is number one. And that speed is like a combination of getting back to the customer in a timely manner when they have requirements, when they have project requests, to get back to them, and at the same time have the data processing speed also. For example, before, when we were trying to use Hadoop Cloud Service, we were not able to reduce the data refresh less than 3 or 4 hours. So every time the engineers will see data, it was 3-4 hours old. Now it's down to a minute and a half. So it's like almost near real time, and we are not done yet. We are implementing further solution, further replication processes to make it literally real time. So now, before it was, so far how it's been, it's like pulling data from PLCs into one central replication server, and then from there we are pulling into Snowflake, and we have visualization on top. Now we are looking into more IoT solutions where we pull directly from our SCADA machines and make it literally real time, and that's where the power is. And one more thing is, it's not only the real time that you see things moving in front of you and you're seeing more from SPC side or statistical side, but also if you want to see, hey, what's been going on in last 2 weeks, show me the trends. Why am I finding these rejects? Maybe there is something, somebody made a change in the machine, and it actually happened to us. There was one situation in the warranty when they started finding for certain labor code that we are getting more warranty claims, and they found, when they looked back in the plant floor, they found out some engineers changed the oil level in one of the machines, and they reduced the oil level that was causing that friction and causing the problems in the component that was manifesting from the warranty claims perspective. So it's like the analytics should not be just focus on real time, that I must see what's happening right now, but also if I want to find patterns, if I want to step back and look at a holistic picture or combine different things, how it's going to work out. So I think this is my final slide. Sorry, it wasn't too fancy or with lots of things in it, but if you have any questions for me, otherwise I think Jennifer and Monica, if you want to join us back.
So I just want to, Monica has agreed to come up and share a little bit about her use cases and her digital journey. And so we have time. Thank you so much, Saima, if you stick around here. Monica is going to speak for a little bit, and then we're going to open it up for about 10 minutes or 7 minutes of Q&A. So you guys can ask both of these two leaders anything that's on your minds. So Monica is the Senior Director of Digital Analytics and Automation at Harman. And she has a lot of experience. She's been at Harman for a little while, and she leads their BI team, their big data management, predictive analytics, mobile visualization, and intelligent automation. Before that, she was at BorgWarner, where she led all of their data and BI teams. So Monica, would you mind just sharing a little bit about your journey at Harman and your plan, some of your use cases and projects?
I will be happy to, and I will keep it brief. I was not quite ready for this presentation, so there's no slides. It's very impromptu, so feel free to ask questions. So yes, I've joined Harman close to a year ago, and I'm not sure if you know or have heard of the company, so just maybe really quickly about the company. It's about a $9 billion. We're part of the Samsung, and about 30,000 employees, very global, decentralized, And the company's main divisions are connected car, we're focusing on the vehicle infotainment, digital cockpit, and all of the experience within the vehicle. Second major notable division is lifestyle audio. I'm sure that many of you have heard the brands like JBL, AKG, Harman Kardon, so that's our main brands. And I was brought into Harman to transform how the company is operating, really transform their operations, transform the customer experience, and do this with the data and analytics. My 4 pillars of my organization is insights and getting the company and insights passed to the employees, the leadership, our customers. Second part of or second pillar of my team is leading data management, and that includes the data ingestion, transformation, cataloging, curation, the whole 9 yards of the data management. We also focus on the automation, and we have quite a large, we're growing the division in automation in RPA space. And finally, enablement. I think the keynote speaker this morning talked a lot about having all the tools and technologies, but how do we take employees from crawling to flying? That's part of my division as well, just really driving the education and empowering people to drive change. So with that, I think the topic is Snowflake. As we are moving to cloud and moving our entire operations to cloud, we focus on Snowflake. That was our selected technology to enable us with the data strategy transformation. We betted big on Snowflake, and we're quite happy. This is really becoming core of the transformation. We are sunsetting a lot of the existing technologies. We were really big on SAP, and that stays our core ECC system. With that, we've got 5 SAP business warehouses, and those are now being obsoleted, and we have active strategy to on our roadmap to sunset them out and replace them with Snowflake. We have done several really successful POCs. As a company, as a group, kind of fell in love with this, which I think speaks volume as I joined the company and inherited a team of SAP business warehouse developers who did not want to hear about Snowflake because they have been doing SAP BW for years. That was their strategy. That was their core skill sets. And it was not until the team really deep dived into the Snowflake and what it offers. We combined it actually with Attunity for real-time data replication. And before we knew it, we are in a completely different world now. Meaning the information my team was providing before was the information as of yesterday at best. Maybe to Saima's point, 4 or 5 hours ago. We are at the point right now where we are providing the data with these 2-second delays. Things we were not able to do before. That whole all-up processing, the whole business warehouse cube building that took forever and then some is becoming a non-event. So my whole team is now really so excited about Snowflake. We're growing and hiring and rebuilding those skill sets. I think another notable thing about Snowflake is that speed to result that Saima was talking about. The technology did not require an army of administrators to get us started. We were able to really get the technology up and running very, very fast and get to those results. So we're starting with Snowflake with more of the operational mindset. So started with finance and real-time inventory streaming, and that is a major movement within the company. Another, I think, big advantage is the self-service, but like true self-service. Yes, you can have clicks and tableaus and all of the visualization tools, and that's great. But when you talk about this true self-service and really empowering people and democratizing your data in a very robust way, governed and secure way, Snowflake does give you all sorts of the tools and security to govern that access. So that's one of the main advantages. And finally, we're now moving to the innovation piece, because Harman is very, very fast. It's operating like a typical Silicon Valley company, and it's all about the speed and the results. And right now, we're really focusing on IoT, and we're ingesting data from the connected car. We are ingesting data from our audio equipment. We're embedding analytics into our product, and we're also focusing on data monetization. So we really use this tool as our strategy and part of not just driving cost savings or the process optimization, but also finding new ways of monetizing on our data, improving customer experience, and driving this new concept of experience per mile. That's new concept that Harman is introducing. I think in the past, we were looking into the vehicle and measuring performance of the vehicle as how many miles per hour or how fast to the 60 miles. At this point, we're looking at how many experience per mile can the vehicle produce. And we're now trying to stream and analyze this data to provide more and more experiences. I think those are the main use cases, and I think we can open it up for questions.
Saima, would you mind coming back up? Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to run around so that everybody can hear questions and bring the microphone back. Any questions? You are the farthest away.
And my question is for Saima. Okay. You had the choice between Tableau, Click, and Power BI, and you went with Power BI. Why?
So we had, as I mentioned, we built a full list of features or functions and features that we are looking in a tool. And they were, more reasons were because of the integrated Python and R libraries and do the machine learning within the tool. That was the most important part of it. So, and we wanted to make it more ad hoc, that as users, not that pre-written algorithms and there's a static result that keeps getting published. And that was the shortcoming in other tools that Power BI gave us. Power BI allows you to do ad hoc machine learning. So you have set of prompts, users can drop down and pick different characteristics and then right there and then apply, and then the system will run behind the scene, and those are libraries and Python scripts, and they'll bring back results. So that was the most important, because the purpose was for the machine learning, for manufacturing. Other than that, we saw good things in Tableau and Click Sense and ClickView, which we didn't have in Power BI, but we had those must-have or nice-to-have features, and Power BI gave us all those must-haves that we were looking for. Sure.
Any other questions? Kuzima? No. John? Any other questions for Saima or Monica? All right, thank you very much for speaking, both of you.